Black community, better wake up because we're about to get completely disenfranchised. I'll show you the proof. Let's break it down. What's up, gang? Carlton Flowers here with the Go Political channel, and we've got a really interesting one today where I really want to know what your reaction is to this. This is a warning. It's a wake-up call. If we don't think about this and take it seriously, especially all of my folks in my homeland, in the Chicagoland, where we really have seen an adverse effect from what I'm about to show you. One of the worst areas in the whole country for this to happen, where we're basically seeing the disenfranchisement of the entire black population. You think we're at the bottom of the barrel right now on the lowest end of the economic scale and opportunity and whatever? You ain't seen nothing yet, because we're actively being replaced and forced down to an even lower level. Okay, so just to let you know, I'm not taking a political stance on this. We're not doing the whole brainwashed Democrat, brainwashed Republican type of thing. Forget all of that. This is an independent thinking that is going to be going on, a process of independent thinking. This has been brought up by Jason Black of the Black Authority. So if you don't trust what I'm about to tell you here, go to Jason Black's channel, listen to what he's saying, and wake up. But I want to know what your reaction is to this. And this is not saying, even though you'll see some disparaging things about one of the parties, I'm not telling you to go sign up for another party. You can be independent like me, but just watch this and think. And then let me know. Like I said, I'm curious to know what your reaction is. So we're going to play this video and react to it, and I'll have to stop it maybe a couple times while it's playing. It's only 2 minutes long. So let's watch this video and react to what we see. All right, here we go. Let's play the video. They're going to show you some interesting facts, and this is conspiracy theory, although most of it is based on fact, about why we had the influx over the last 4 years. So let's go ahead and play the video and talk about this.
The Democrat open borders plan to entrench single-party rule, explained in under 2 minutes. 1. Flood the country with untold millions of illegals by land, sea, and air from all over the world, enough to eclipse the populations of 36 individual U.S. states so far. 2. Prioritize the needs of these millions of non-citizens over the needs of the American citizen, with free flights, buses, hotels, meals, and phones.
Okay, so thus far that was facts. You can't argue that. We already saw that happen. 20 million people came in. They were bringing them in through the southern border and also putting them on airplanes. Forget immigration laws, rules, and procedures. None of that took place. My son's best friends, one's from India, another's from Guatemala. Their parents spent over 10 years becoming citizens, spent tens of thousands of dollars, legal fees, had to go back to their countries at several points of time in the last few years while they were still waiting for everything to clear. That's by the rules. They're just abiding by the rules. My son's best friends, their families. And then we saw 20 million come in where we put them on planes and brought them in. Said, forget the laws and the rules. So that's fact. It's also a fact, especially in Chicago, that these people were given food, shelter, jobs. We cut the corners to get them driver's licenses. Some even got to work on the Chicago police force. So that is fact. Indisputable. Money given, all the assistance in the world. And in Chicago, it was $600 million of your taxpayer money taken out of the hands of the black community. All right, let's continue on with the video.
Ensuring their loyalty to the political party that imported them. 3. Keep them in the country at all costs, even when they commit violent crime like murder and rape. Attack the language used to describe the criminals, as opposed to the criminals themselves. Slander critics as racist. 4. Ensure that
Okay, that was facts. We do see people committing murder, RAPE. We got the man, the Maryland man. I got another video on that. Okay, his wife had to put a restraining order on him because he was beating her, and he didn't go to jail. Now, how many times do you see a black man going to court for beating his wife or girlfriend, and they get to walk, and where senators are standing up for them? How many times have you seen that? Have we ever seen a black man in Chicago beating his wife, going to court, but then the Chicago area rallies behind that black man, and the senators of Chicago and maybe the governor stand up and say, oh, well, this Illinois man is innocent. Have we ever seen that? Nope. So that, my friends, is facts. Let's continue on.
their privileges are made irrevocable with city and state sanctuary laws that act as population magnets, codify permanent status, and ensure non-cooperation with ICE. 5. Count the non-citizens in the census that will determine congressional apportionment in the House of Representatives. As of now, that would equal 13 extra congressional districts, a tremendous amount of electoral power. 6. Wage a massive, heavily funded lawfare campaign to change.
Okay, that's facts too. Did you know that illegal immigrants count towards the population to determine congressional districts? Did you know that? If they're still here by the time we do the next census, that means that those people will bump up the numbers of representation for those areas. That's a fact. You do not have to be a citizen to count in the census. All right, let's continue on here.
State voting laws that legalize mass mail-in ballots, no signature verification, and no proof of citizenship requirements, making it nearly impossible to prove voter fraud. 7.
All right, that was a fact. What did we see in the state of California but laws passed making it illegal for anyone to require or even ask for an ID before you vote? So we know for a fact that there were over 1 million people that voted in the last presidential election that were illegal aliens. Can't dispute that. Can't dispute it. Now, what's that got to do with us? Well, the black population is only 11% of the United States. We're rolling in 20 million extras here. So we comprise maybe 30 to 40 million people in the United States, and our population is decreasing. We have the abortion thing that is pushed. You ever heard of eugenics? Well, we push Planned Parenthood in the cities where our population is big. And so I'm all about freedom of choice. Yeah, I'm pro-choice. But our population is going down as a result of it. So if we're shrinking and then we're hauling in 20 million people, and then we say they don't have to produce an ID to vote, and they're turning up and voting in elections, what do you think is going to happen to our power? What do you think? Think about that. Let's continue on.
Lock in the permanent voting majority with campaign promises of lavish benefits and permanent privileges, enshrining generational fealty to the Democrat Party. 8. Win elections. 9. Entrenched single-party rule has been achieved. The best part? Your tax dollars are paying for it.
And that, my friend, is also facts, especially in Chicago. Like I said, you guys just shouldered the cost of all of the, what do they call them, visitors. Your lovely Mayor Brenda Johnson calls them visitors, not illegal immigrants. You guys shouldered the cost to the tune of $600 million to make sure that those illegal immigrants had food and shelter and jobs and transportation and even health care, right? And where did that money come from? He's wanting to tax you to pay for it. He tried raising your property tax. He's taxing everything he can. Taxing 911 calls, taxing pop, taxing cigarettes, taxing whatever he can get his hands on, which is money out of your pocket, so that those people who were flooded into Chicago can be taken care of. And then calling them visitors. And they're being allowed to vote in local elections. They're not supposed to vote federally, but they're letting them vote locally. Did you know that? So what are your thoughts about this? So this was a fantastic plan where, hey, I'll give it to the Democratic Party. If they can brainwash people into thinking that this is a normal thing, that's great. And they would be able to have permanent control. You would basically turn every swing state into permanently blue status. Okay? Period. And then all the while, what do you think is going to happen to the power of the voting base of the black people who live in this country? What do you think? Do you trust these folks enough to say that we're going to beef up the population where it makes us insignificant? Do you really trust that? And are you okay with paying for all of these people to make sure they're taken care of while our schools crumble? Chicago public schools, while the numbers go down, kids can't read, write, and do basic math, and the schools are crumbling. Are you okay with that? And continuing to pay taxes to make sure that these people who are flooding in have a good, decent living? I'm just wondering what your thoughts are. Let me know what you think, and if this is a good idea. If this is a good thing for the future of the black community in the United States of America, are you going to continue to put your trust into these people? Stay tuned, because I'm going to show you some videos which will prove to you that there is a massive psyop and the majority of you are being brainwashed. And sadly, you're falling for it. It's going to be shocking what I show you. And so I'm going to ask you all to step back away from the politics. Don't react. Don't come snotting and spitting and crying in the comments saying, oh, I want those Republican channels. Step back away from that. Use critical thinking. Think independently. Is this a good thing? I'm going to have to start showing some clips from Jason Black of the Black Authority that will smack some of these crazy reactions down from the people that just have the knee-jerk reaction, who think that we're asking you to just automatically sign up for the other party. I want you to be independent thinkers and think what is best for your future. That's all I got for this one. Post your comments below. This is Carlton, and I am out.